Hello, familia. Welcome. My name is MagdalineJanet. If you are new, welcome to the fam. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always here having a good time. And come visit me on TikTok and Insta because I'm there daily. And of course, welcome back to all my oldies but goodies. Oh, you guys, my eye look is a new palette I'm reviewing. I'm working on a 3 looks 1 palette, but it's the Huda Beauty palette. So if you're wondering, this is this eye look. I went a little bit different. I'm definitely inspired by iloves.ie because she just killed it with an eye look. I'll put a picture here. Oh, so good. So I did my skincare. I put my foundation on. Anytime I put foundation, I avoid the under eye area because the less product here, the better. The less creasy it looks, the less dry it looks. And we're gonna be working with a full coverage concealer. When I did my Ulta haul, you wanted to see me review this. This is a new concealer. I wasn't sure if it was new, but it is because I saw that at Sephora and Ulta under the new category. I've never tried a Bobbi Brown concealer and I'm constantly always asked about reviews or what my thoughts are on Bobbi Brown concealers, and I don't know because I've never tried it. So here we are. I also did put my eye cream on. I use, my Belief eye cream. This is how it looks. The bottle looks big, but it's the average size of a concealer is a 0.27 ounce. So I have the shade Natural. Ooh, this doe is huge. Ooh, and it's very yellow. So I did get the warm shade because I find that warm really does a good job canceling out my under eye darkness. And you see how I have a cool tone eyeshadow? Cool tone eyeshadows will really bring out the darkness in my under eye area. So yellow, which is this concealer, warm cancels out the blues and purples of my under eyes. And that's the goal for today. Oh, by the way, fam, the foundation I have on is NARS today. I really like this one. Actually want to show you the swatch again. It's oxidizing a little bit and you see it has like a thin texture, but it's pigmented. It feels moisturizing. It has like a dry down. Not completely dry, it won't stay super wet, So what I'm gonna do is apply the concealer. I'm gonna use the sponge on the left side, blend it out. I'm gonna use my favorite Sephora 71 brush to apply this side. As I apply it, I'm gonna give you all the info about this product. New Bobbi Brown Skin Full Cover Concealer retails for $33. It comes in 23 shades. I am in the shade Natural. This full cover concealer is a featherweight full coverage concealer with 16 hours of skin perfect power that resists creasing and settling. Hugs and moves with every expression thanks to the flexible skin gripping formula. Soothes, smooths, and nourishes with hyaluronic acid. Comes in a 0.27 ounce bottle. It is available at Sephora and Ulta. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is like a little tricky. When I did my swatch, like kind of applied a little bit transparent, but you know how I let it dry down? It got a bit thicker. Look at this coverage. The point of me saying that is I let it sit about 30 seconds and that dry time, like those 30 seconds just kind of like do this magic where it's like full coverage, boom. It doesn't look thick. You see that? The sponge, actually the sponge looks good too. It's not my favorite form of applying. I love my brush. It is creasing. Let's see, look, this is a sponge and this is the brush. Creasing a little bit though, not too crazy. And you guys know how I feel about creases. Creases will always happen. It kind of just depends how much it happens. With some concealers, it happens more. With some, it happens less. If you put more product, you're more likely to get creases. So it all really depends. Wow, this coverage is nice. And look, you don't see darkness peeking through. Sponge. And brush. Look, even with the brush, I feel like I need a little more coverage here. This is where like my darkness is. I just kind of like how it melts in. I'm now literally checking. I make sure to have my mic on because you guys know me and my mic, we like beef a lot, Okay, here's the sponge. Here's the brush. Why do I feel like we have the same coverage? The sponge will always give you a lighter coverage. That's the point of the sponge. You'll get more of a natural look. The brush will always give you a fuller coverage look. Okay, I don't see much of a difference. Okay, so let's get my Givenchy powder because I only use powders that I know and love anytime I'm doing a first impressions because we can't be, testing out everything new. So I'm going to get my powder. Oh, this is a lot. It's too much powder. But let's even it out so it applies evenly onto the under eyes. I'm going to get my sponge, get rid of the creases that I have. I find that the longer time you give it to dry this concealer, the less it's going to crease because it becomes thicker in texture. And usually when you give a concealer dry down time, it becomes thicker, So what I'm doing is just looking straight ahead and setting the under eyes. You want to set your under eyes looking straight ahead because that's how your eyes naturally rest. I think it looks really good after setting. The sponge is giving me more life though. I feel like it's giving me more coverage, just more flawlessness. Sponge is not my favorite. Just like not knowing. Man, it looks good. I do see that the concealer can be a little bit drying. Keep that in mind. But let me tell you the time. Ooh, it is 10:49. I started a little later. It's the weekend, so I get to sleep in a little bit as opposed to the weekdays I wake up at 5. So anyway, okay, let me finish up the face. Tell me why I'm having a good makeup day, but all I'm gonna do today is laundry. But it's okay. It's part of the content creator life. This makeup, wow, and this concealer, it's always like kind of iffy whether something's gonna work. I feel like this concealer looks really good. It's definitely a full coverage and it covers. And I like that you can't see darkness coming through, especially because this undertone is super, super warm. But look how pretty it looks. The under eyes don't look yellow. That's something to be careful about because if it's too yellow, girl, it could just look way too bright and it just won't match everything. This is the brush. This is the sponge. Let me look up so we can see. They actually look good. I am seeing a lot more creasing in the brush side versus the sponge. And you guys see I have creasy under eyes and my under eyes are dry. The only thing I am noticing about this concealer though is not to use a lot of powder or a very matte powder. I do feel like they look a little drier than I would like, but it's not enough for you guys to like really notice. Like zoom in so you can see. They don't look dry, but I know like I'm looking at it very closely and they look a little drier than I personally would like it to. And yeah, this is it. Let's meet up at the window so you can see how it looks in daylight because it's a game changer. It could be good here and a mess out there, you know? Oh, and my lip. I am using, remember my Ulta haul? I got the Buxom lip liner. This is this plumping one in High Def Honey. And I like this shade. My lips kind of look plumped, but you don't feel like that sensation, you know? All right, familia, here we are. Look at this concealer. Here we have the sponge. You see how good it looks? I feel like you can see this dip more in daylight though, huh? So sponge, brush. Brush looks good too. I think in daylight, it just looks a little better. You can see just how good the pigment is. Okay, ciao. Hello, familia. It is almost 10 p.m. We've had the concealer on all day. I did get some footage at around, I think, 4:30 in the car. I was actually out with my friend. Here on the left side is the sponge side. And like I said, it's looking really good. I feel like it's warming up very well. And on the other side is the brush. You guys know I love the brush. And this is also looking really good. It's been what, like 11 hours? Oh, let's look up and see. I haven't looked. Oh, wow, not bad. We have creasing a little bit, but not too bad. Even when you look straight ahead, you don't see creases. That's a good way to tell like how creasy a concealer is because the further down your creases go, the more likely that concealer is just a very, very creasy concealer. Let me just look up so you can really see. Here's the sponge, here's the brush. I can see with the lights turned off, the creases a little bit more and more like defined. This concealer does crease. That's what I'm getting at. For the most part, for day one, I think our coverage is on point. We still look very well put together. We don't look gastadas. I actually ended up going out with my girlfriend, so that was fun because it's always nice to be out with a full face beat. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it yet until tomorrow, you know? See you tomorrow. Bye. I'm back. Welcome back to day number 2. I have my foundation, a little bit of cream bronzer. That is it. So I was thinking today, let's do one eye with our primer. This primer helps with creases. We saw we were having a good amount of creases yesterday. We're gonna add this. And so what I do is I let it sit for maybe like 15 seconds or so. Start blending it out. I just give it a little bit of time to dry down and it kind of gives us a little bit of color too. You see, this eye is not as dark as this eye. Since we know the texture can get thick, so let's put a little bit here. My foundation's a hot mess today. It's like peeling and it's just not really working. So we're gonna try to make it look nice. Let's not wait too long and let's start blending. I know the sponge looked better yesterday, but I just felt like the coverage was like slightly better with the brush. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know. You see how it's blending nicely? So that's a good thing. With my finger, this helps to really just like blend everything out and smooth it out some more. So I'm liking this before and after. It looks really good. Okay, so on the other side, we're not gonna put the primer and we're gonna see how it works out. I don't know, I feel like today is a little bit better because also we know how to work with it and we know a little more about this concealer. It's like that dry time. It's very specific. Like if you wait too long, it becomes too thick. If you don't wait long enough, it's too thin and it may like just blend out to nothing. You could see a little bit more coverage here, right? Versus here's like that darkness peeking through. Let's look up. They're actually both creasy. Primer, no primer. Let's use less powder and I'm gonna apply it with a brush. So let's get some Dermablend. Dermablend is so perfect because it's a very finely milled powder and it's not matte. So it's like the perfect type of powder to set the under eyes. I'm gonna saturate my brush. And the brush, I find that when you set it, it gives you a lighter coverage. Sponge gives you more of a flawless look. And then we're just gonna set this here. Cause this is definitely lighter. You know what, let's do the powder puff on the other eye. Why not? Then with the brush, you wanna make sure you get all your creases. And then powder puff here. And then let's just look straight ahead. The brush looks really good actually. Powder puff. I feel like this side just has more coverage in general, and it's probably because of the primer. You see that darkness peeking through? And then let's look up. Dang, they both look good though, huh? You can only see the slight difference because you know we're very specific. Like yesterday, it's later. It's 10:40. Let me finish up the face. Okay. All right, fam. Lista. So, thoughts. I really like this side. The primer's really, I feel like holding it together a little bit better. You see this coverage that it's just brighter versus here. It's good coverage. It's just not bright. That's the only difference. Let's look up. Here is primer, which looks really good. No creases. Here is just the other side with nothing. I do have dry under eyes, so you have to be very careful when using concealers that can be too dry or even powders that can be too dry. You have to use very little bit and then not wait for it to dry down. Kind of start immediately or maybe like wait 15 to 30 seconds. But let's see how the wear test goes. Let me tell you, this lip combo, it looks so good. Ooh, you know, LA Girl Chocolate Blondie from Maybelline and Choco Latte Shake. I think this is a new favorite. Well, all nudes are my favorite, you know, but okay. See you later. Bye. Ooh. So the dip, I don't see as much today, right? This is the primer side, no primer side. And I like that I didn't have to color correct. It's doing like the 2-in-1 situation that I like. I think it looks better today. My mind's changing. Okay, bye. Familia, I'm back, you guys. It is late. It is almost 11 o'clock. But of course, before we get started, I do want to show you how the concealer was looking. Here on the left side is the side with the primer. And here on the right side is the side with no primer. At this point, I felt like they were looking very, very similar. Nothing too different. Coverage is bomb. This is the primer side, the no primer side. Let me look up so you can see. Dang, there's no creases today though. I see what's happening. Look at this coverage. It's been a long day. I went out to dinner with my friend and look, gastada wear. Most definitely is a better day. Honestly, on both sides, I don't feel like any side is creasing. Of course, I like the primer side a little bit better. I feel like with the primer, the actual color, like the shade and the texture just adhered a little bit better. This side looks good. I just see the slight difference here. Taking today into account and using the correct setting powder that is not too matte, I really like this concealer. I feel like this concealer, it takes some time to get used to because the formula is a little bit different in the sense that it dries down a little bit thicker. When it dries down, it kind of becomes dry, but it provides very beautiful coverage, and throughout the day it warms up, and I feel like throughout the day it looks better. Only recommendation I would say is to not use a matte setting powder. That's the thing that can make or break this concealer, so keep that in mind. Bobbi Brown came through with this concealer. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending a little bit of your day with me. Please let me know your thoughts. You guys know we're always chit-chatting in the comments, and I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.